Her name was Dr. Lilian Castro, but to her 8.9 million followers, she was known as Maternidade Moderna, an obstetrician influencer who promised to revolutionize human reproduction. Her last video, posted on December 21, 2024, shocked the world. In it, she injected an amber compound called Eve's rib into her own uterus, announcing the first successful self-fertilization. 3 months later, 37 followers who replicated her method gave birth to identical babies, not to each other, but to the influencer herself. Children with eyes as black as wells, who on the 47th day of life stopped crying and started singing. This is the full account of what really happened to Dr. Castro, a story that involves a laboratory buried in Chernobyl, reactivated Neanderthal, DNA in the 37 vials of fossilized placenta found in an abandoned clinic. Because Maternidade Moderna's method was never about generating life, but about reactivating something that had been dead for millennia. And the mirror babies? They had one goal: to find all the remaining mothers. Warning: some images in this documentary may be disturbing. What you are about to see is not science fiction, it is a warning. The viral ad that shocked the world. The video started like all the others from Maternidade Moderna. Perfect lights, a professional camera setup, and that soft voice that had won her 8.9 million followers. But when Lilian Castro held up the glass, syringe filled with an amber liquid, even the haters paused their scrolling. Revolutionary self-fertilization, she announced, rubbing the bottle of Eve's rib as if showing off a trophy. No partner, no donor, just yourself. The camera focused on the moment the needle penetrated her uterus, a procedure no doctor would endorse. What viewers didn't see: in the reflection of the mirror behind her, another hand guided the syringe, pale, with black nails. At frames 047 to 049, exactly, the liquid in the bottle bubbled against gravity. The hashtag, Cradle47, flashed for a moment in the description before disappearing. 3 days later, the video had reached 27 million views. And that was when the first followers noticed. "Doctor, your blood test on the shelf is Rh null. This blood type is very rare," commented Maria Fernanda. Lilian never responded. The next morning, the user deleted the comment. Her profile now showed only an ultrasound photo with the caption, "Starting my Dar Eve's rib journey today." The bottle of Eve's rib arrived in the mail in a thermal package with no return address. Ana Beatriz, follower number 37 of Maternidade Moderna, shuddered when she noticed that the amber liquid inside was pulsating slightly, as if it contained living microorganisms. The enclosed manual, written in archaic Portuguese that resembled texts from the 19th century, specified, "Administer 3 ml intramuscularly into the uterus at 3:17 a.m., preferably during a full moon. The subject may experience vivid dreams with their ancestors, which is an integral part of the process of genetic self-recognition." Anna hesitated, but Lilian's testimony echoed in her mind. You don't need a man to be a mother. You only need your own essence, enhanced. When the needle penetrated her flesh, 3 things happened simultaneously. Her reflection in the mirror took 47 seconds to reproduce the movement. The amber liquid formed dendritic crystals in the air before entering her bloodstream. Her pregnancy app, not installed by her, opened by itself, showing a counter, days until harvest 47. In the secret group Eve's Rib Truth, user ER Biohacker Mama posted alarming results. "I analyzed the supplement. It contains Neanderthal stem cells. Yes, you read that right. Cesium-137 nanoparticles, Chernobyl isotope, a sequence of messenger RNA that, well, watch the attached video." The video showed the liquid being dripped onto human blood. Immediately, the cells rearranged themselves into geometric patterns identical to those found in Sumerian temples dedicated to the goddess Lilith. Fragments of the Chernobyl plant after the disaster, the mechanical uterus seen in pregnant women's dreams. That night, Anna dreamed of a subterranean nursery with walls of pulsating flesh, 36 other women standing in a circle, each holding a bottle of Eve's Rib Lilian Castro in the center wearing a robe made of ultrasounds when she woke up. Her pregnancy app showed a new feature: View Fetal Ancestry. The image that loaded made Anna scream. The fetus was a 93.7% genetic match for her, and 6.3% for something not cataloged in the human database. The Chernobyl connection and investigation into Maria Fernandez's now deleted profile revealed. Her last post was a map of the Chernobyl power plant. With 37 red markers, her bio read, Mother of New Eve, before it was deleted. Her now disappeared stories, archived on the Wayback Machine, showed the same mechanical womb from her dreams. When Anna searched for Project Lilith Chernobyl, she found a leaked document from 1986. Final report: 37 pregnant workers exposed to isotope O showed accelerated fetal development and data censored. It is recommended to end the experiment and bury the results in Sector 47. The next morning, Anna's cell phone rang by itself from a blocked number. A voice that was not human whispered, "You are the surrogate for Mother 12. Get ready. The harvest begins on 12/21/25. When she ran to the bathroom, her reflection in the mirror was still smiling after she stopped. Rafaela's labor began at exactly 3:17 a.m. on the 47th day, after the injection of Eve's rib. The contractions came in perfect waves, spaced every 3 minutes and 47 seconds, as if her uterus were being controlled by an atomic clock. At the hospital, the medical team noticed nothing unusual until the heart monitors began to pick up two distinct beats, one fast and chaotic, hers, the other slow and methodical, the baby's, which echoed through all the electronic devices. In the obstetrics center, when the baby's head finally emerged, the head nurse released the forceps with a scream. The newborn's skin shone under the surgical lights as if covered in a thin layer of mica, and his eyes, did not reflect the light, but absorbed it, creating two black vortices where the pupils should have been. The obstetrician, Dr. Guilherme Menezes, recorded in his report, file HB47, later deleted from the system. The newborn presents anatomical characteristics incompatible with standard human development: fully formed teeth, composed of pure cortical bone, luminous vascular pattern under the epidermis, similar to printed circuits, umbilical cord with anomalous spiral structure, containing 47 perfect turns. I recommend immediate isolation and contact with the CDC. But before any protocol could be initiated, the baby did something that would have the nurse quitting the next day. He opened his mouth, far too large for a newborn, and sang. Not a cry, not a scream. A complex melody at frequencies that made the windows in the delivery room vibrate to the point of breaking. The hospital's spectrographs captured the sound composition, later translating it into binary code that, when deciphered, revealed a single repeated phrase. Mater, lac. Mater. Sanguis mater mundi. Meanwhile, on the phone abandoned in Rafaela's lab coat pocket, the pregnancy app, which she swore she had uninstalled, updated itself. On the screen, a new icon pulsed. View Maternal Network. When she clicked, she saw 36 luminous dots, scattered around the globe, all pulsing in unison with the contractions that were still shaking her exhausted body. In the center of the map, a red dot glowed with increasing intensity. The coordinates led directly to the abandoned Chernobyl power plant. The awakening of the 37 mothers over the next 7 days, all the women who had used Eve's rib reported the same symptoms through a secret Telegram group created by biohacker Mama before her mysterious hospitalization. Breast milk with conductive properties, when exposed to UV light. It formed geometric patterns identical to those of the Antikythera mechanism, umbilical scars that wouldn't close. Instead, they oozed an amber liquid that responded to electromagnetic fields, shared dreams of a giant mechanical womb being fed by 37 silver umbilical cords. The worst part? Their babies didn't age. They evolved. By day 10, Rafaela's child was already articulating full sentences in ancient Aramaic, a language her mother had never studied. When asked how she knew these words, the tiny creature, who insisted on being called Seed 12, pointed to her mother's neck, where an omega-shaped birthmark had begun to pulsate. "You hear the mother of mothers when you sleep?" the UI child whispered in a voice that echoed as if it were coming from an open grave. "She is remaking you from the inside for the final birth." The cursed live on the eve of the winter solstice, 12/20/25. A Maternidade Moderna reappeared after 3 months of silence. The live broadcast began normally. Lilian Castro, thinner, with dark circles under her eyes but still recognizable, explained the postpartum benefits of Eve's rib. It was at minute 47 that things went off the rails. Her reflection on the camera began to act independently, stroking a belly that, in the real world, was flat after delivery. Followers reported smelling radioactive earth coming from their devices. At 3:17, Lilian lifted her shirt to reveal a still pregnant uterus pulsing beneath the skin like a secondary heart. The broadcast ended with a collective whisper, 37 voices overlapping, including Rafaela's, who swore she was asleep at that moment. "The womb of the world is ready. Bring forth the seeds for the harvest." As the screen went black, the 37 babies in different parts of the globe cried for the first time, a sound so perfect and harmonious that it made the neighborhood dogs howl in response. At the hospitals where they were born, the lights flashed in Morse code, the same message, 12/21/25, O is hungry. What happened next? Rafaela disappeared in the early hours of December 21st, leaving behind only a diary with notes in Sumerian that she could not write. The 37 babies were taken to a CDC facility in Atlanta, but tests showed that their bodies were already drying out. Like seeds after germination. In Chernobyl, satellites captured images of 37 female silhouettes entering the abandoned reactor, for the Eve's Rib app uninstalled itself from all devices, leaving behind only 37 MP3 files, each containing 47 seconds of a fetal choir singing in ancient Greek. Lily's last recording was found on an abandoned server on the dark web. The 47-second video shows her standing before the mechanical womb in Chernobyl, her eyes as black as those of her offspring. Her last words echo like a prophecy. "You thought we were creating life, but we were only opening the door." And on 12/21/63, when the 74 mothers gather, the womb of the world will give birth to its true heir. The camera then pans to show 37 empty cradles, each with a sign, Seed 1 through Seed 37. The cradle in the center, larger than the others, is occupied. Its contents are never revealed. But the sound it emits is unmistakable, the rhythmic beating of a giant fetal heart.